50 Cent just lit the internet on fire with a shocking revelation about his long-running feud with the Game. In a newly surfaced interview, 50 claimed things between him and Game got so intense behind the scenes that he nearly took him out permanently.
So they just rode the wave and then they never learned how to grind properly?
That's what I'm thinking. Now, when
Is
you
that
don't
your
see them
fault, though?
sustain
Are you a
it,
spoiled
That's what you're
father?
thinking? That's what you're saying.
that's what I'm saying. This is my, look, I'm trying to figure it out like you're trying to figure it out right
you
now.
playing
But
us.
come on.
The comment wasn't delivered as a joke, and the tone was dead serious, leaving fans stunned by how deep the rivalry truly went. According to 50, the beef wasn't just about music. It was about betrayal, power moves, and behind-the-scenes threats that nearly turned deadly. He detailed how Game's disloyalty after being given a major platform through G-Unit pushed him over the edge. I put him on, and he turned around and tried to sabotage everything. That ain't something you walk away from easy, 50 said. The revelation has reignited one of hip-hop's most infamous fallouts. While many believe the tension had cooled, 50's words prove the bad blood still runs deep. The Game has yet to respond, but with 50 putting everything on the table, a new wave of drama is almost guaranteed.
Like, I don't really hear people say that to Game. I don't hear people say, you're really here because of 50 Cent. Like, we know you because of 50 Cent.
One thing is clear, this beef wasn't just for the cameras. It was real, it was personal, and it almost went way too far. When discussing East Coast hip-hop, one name that cannot be left out is G-Unit. In the early 2000s, G-Unit represented more than music. They embodied a cultural moment. Their signature look, baggy jeans, do-rags under fitted caps, and G-Unit sneakers, defined the era's fashion. Their influence stretched from music videos to street corners nationwide. Their debut album, now certified 4 times platinum, wasn't just a success, it marked a generational shift in rap. But despite that success, many, including 50 Cent, have since distanced themselves from the group's legacy. What went wrong? How did a group so dominant implode so fast that violence nearly erupted behind the scenes? The G-Unit story began in the tough streets of South Jamaica, Queens, during the late 1990s.
Man, I've been lost out here, man. You understand? I know I owe you money. You understand? I mean, as far as me paying you back, it's always been on. I mean, I should have really been. There's no excuse I can honestly say about me borrowing you the money that I owe you and should have not paying you back. But as far as I don't never want you to think that I ain't trying. That's the whole struggle of what's with me.
While the crack epidemic left lasting scars on the community, 3 aspiring MCs emerged from that chaos with raw talent and ambition. Those artists were Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, and 50 Cent, individuals who would go on to redefine street rap. 50 Cent's early career was anything but smooth. After surviving a near-fatal shooting and being dropped by Columbia Records, he found himself locked out of the industry. But instead of giving up, he doubled down, recording the now iconic mixtape Guess Who's Back. That tape didn't just revive his career, it ignited a movement. It landed in the hands of key figures at Shady Records, who immediately recognized his potential. And with that, a new chapter in hip-hop began. Discussions began with key label executives expressing interest in signing a new rising talent. But here's where things took a turn. 50 Cent's contract had a unique clause that allowed him to launch his own label if the opportunity presented itself.
And so we see a nigga reaching and holding, and we see some other niggas behind him, like 50 Gutter and them, you know, his niggas and whatever. And we see the nigga look like he about to up, so nigga, we just start shooting shit.
That's exactly what happened, and with loyalty in mind, he made sure to bring his longtime collaborators from Queens along for the ride. That marked the official formation of G-Unit, a collective built on loyalty, street credibility, and lyrical firepower. The founding members were 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo. For those unfamiliar, G-Unit stands for Guerrilla Unit, a name that reflected their aggressive style and uncompromising attitude. Before their major label debut, the trio dropped a series of influential mixtapes, No Mercy, No Fear, God's Plan, and 50 Cent is the Future, which earned massive street buzz and solidified their underground presence. But just as their buzz reached a boiling point, an unexpected setback hit. As G-Unit prepared to release their debut studio album in 2003, Tony Yayo was arrested for first-degree possession of a loaded firearm while already a convicted felon. His incarceration left a gap in the lineup. To maintain momentum, the group brought in Young Buck as a temporary replacement. His chemistry with the crew proved undeniable, and after some time, he was officially made a member of G-Unit. The group's debut album, Beg for Mercy, dropped in November 2003 and instantly resonated.
The songs that he did have was music that I made with Dre, not with Game with me. How We Do, Hate It or Love It, Church for Thugs, Special, Higher, West Side Story.
It became a certified classic, capturing their raw energy and hunger. Around this time, G-Unit expanded further by welcoming another rising star into the fold, The Game. This move would mark both a high point and the beginning of future tensions. The Game officially joined G-Unit shortly after the debut album was recorded. His introduction came through a strategic move by Dr. Dre and Interscope co-founder Jimmy Iovine, who believed that G-Unit's success could be the perfect platform to launch a new West Coast talent. Their plan was to boost the Game's profile using G-Unit's momentum and massive appeal. The Game began appearing on G-Unit related releases, most notably on the debut solo albums from Lloyd Banks and Young Buck. This built anticipation ahead of his own debut. Tracks like How We Do, Hate It or Love It, and West Side Story showcased the collaboration between him and 50 Cent. According to later interviews, 50 Cent contributed writing to multiple songs, reportedly 6, on the Game's breakout album, The Documentary. Despite the commercial success of these collaborations, friction behind the scenes quickly escalated. The Game never publicly credited 50 Cent's role in the project, instead insisting he had full creative control over the content. This lack of acknowledgement led to tensions boiling over between the two. An infamous moment came during the filming of the Hate It or Love It video. Reports emerged that 50 Cent refused to sit beside the Game during the shoot, choosing instead to position himself in the back seat of the car used in the scene. Soon after, things reached a breaking point. During a live interview on New York's Hot 97 radio station, 50 Cent announced that the Game had officially been removed from G-Unit. He was clear and direct, stating that the affiliation was over and that the Game should stop using the G-Unit name moving forward. What followed was a heated lyrical exchange. The Game released his now infamous 15-minute diss track, 300 Bars and Runnin', targeting G-Unit and 50 Cent directly. In return, 50 responded with his own diss records, further fueling the high-profile feud. The battle marked a major turning point in the group's history, as internal unity gave way to public rivalry. The Game wasn't the only G-Unit member to face fallout with the group's founder. Just a few years after the Game's departure, Young Buck also found himself at odds with the operation. Tensions between Buck and 50 Cent escalated around 2008, leading to a very public fallout that left fans stunned. Their issues had been simmering for months. Young Buck began disappearing from G-Unit mixtapes and official releases. His verses were being removed from group tracks, and his absence was noticeable during media appearances. When MTV covered G-Unit's latest material, Buck was entirely excluded from the rollout, raising further questions. Feeling sidelined, Young Buck turned to the press to voice his concerns, hoping transparency might lead to resolution. However, instead of reconciliation, it led to termination. On April 7, 2008, during a broadcast on New York's Hot 97, 50 Cent made it official. Young Buck was no longer part of G-Unit. He cited missed recording sessions, public airing of internal disputes, and struggles with substance use as the reasons for Buck's removal. Young Buck didn't stay silent. He responded with a diss track targeting not just 50 Cent, but the entire G-Unit roster. In retaliation, 50 Cent released a private phone call between the two, showcasing Buck's emotional appeal for forgiveness and support, an unprecedented move in hip-hop at the time. The release of that phone call marked a major turning point. Fans and media figures alike recognize this moment as the beginning of the end for G-Unit. What was once a unified crew was now unraveling on a very public stage. Later, Young Buck would explain his side in an interview with DJ Vlad, reflecting on the events that led to one of hip-hop's most controversial group splits. The last piece of the story wasn't just some average phone call. The audio 50 Cent released of Young Buck was intense, an emotional moment, with Buck audibly crying and pleading to mend the relationship. But the drama didn't end there. The G-Unit unraveling continued with even more internal conflict. This time, the tension was between 50 Cent and another founding member, Lloyd Banks. Their fallout stemmed from a missed opportunity. Banks reportedly turned down the chance to have Eminem featured on his third album, a decision that didn't sit well with 50. He took to Twitter, airing out frustrations publicly, and claiming choices like that were why their bond had weakened over the years. One particular tweet read, "I shot this guy, he's messing with my money." It reflected the deep disappointment 50 felt over the situation. From that moment, their friendship never fully recovered, and fans began to see that something bigger was unraveling within the crew. Then in early 2014, Tony Yayo dropped a bombshell. G-Unit was done. He publicly confirmed the breakup, stating he had already accomplished everything he wanted in hip-hop and was stepping away from the game. Yayo's announcement marked a historic moment, confirming what many fans had suspected for years. As for Lloyd Banks, his momentum had declined since his debut album. His second and third projects failed to match the impact of his earlier work, and he slowly drifted from the spotlight. Many speculated that differences in vision, energy, and direction played a huge role in the quiet dismantling of one of hip-hop's most iconic collectives. G-Unit, once seen as a powerhouse crew representing raw energy and dominance, was now fractured. From internal beefs to missed opportunities, what was once a brotherhood had turned into a cautionary tale in the rap industry, a story of loyalty tested and success divided. 50 Cent made no effort to hide his frustrations. He openly claimed he had carried much of the weight for Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks, investing time and energy while they, according to him, lacked the drive to maintain the success G-Unit had built. He even compared their situation to milk, saying it had all gone sour. But the response from Tony Yayo wasn't subtle either. He clapped back hard, stating, "I took so many bullets for G-Unit. My mom's house got shot up, and my sister and niece nearly lost their lives." Being compared to spoiled milk hit differently for someone who had sacrificed so much. Despite the fiery back and forth, there was one last attempt to bring G-Unit back together. They dropped the Beauty of Independence EP, followed by the 2015 album, The Beast is G-Unit. But by that point, the damage was done. The chemistry, the bond, and the unity that once defined them had eroded beyond repair. In an interview, 50 Cent tried to explain where things went wrong. Although even he admitted he couldn't pinpoint the exact moment of collapse, he suggested the group's downfall was due to the members riding his momentum instead of building their own. He implied that carrying the team became unsustainable, saying, "They just rode the wave and never learned how to grind properly." This reflection highlighted the underlying issue. Success can't be maintained without every member contributing equally. In the end, G-Unit's internal disconnect proved too much for any reunion to fix. The backlash came swiftly. When 50 Cent made dismissive remarks about G-Unit's legacy, fans didn't hold back. Many were stunned, especially considering the group's lasting imprint on hip-hop culture. "G-Unit is forever stamped in the culture," one fan wrote. Another added, 50 Cent is the only one trying to forget G-Unit. Real hip-hop fans from that era would love a full G-Unit movie. Others praised the talents of Lloyd Banks, calling him one of the most underrated lyricists to ever emerge from the early 2000s. But beneath the surface praise, a real question remains. Was the group's downfall inevitable? Some argue that 50 Cent bears some responsibility for the collapse. His public criticisms, controlling nature, and relentless pressure may have fractured the group's foundation. Others believe he was simply calling out what he saw, that Young Buck, Tony Yayo, and Lloyd Banks weren't matching his energy or ambition during their rise. Still, what cannot be debated is this: G-Unit was a movement. They defined an era, reshaped the sound of New York street rap, and built a brand that influenced both music and fashion. Whether a reunion ever happens or not, their impact remains undeniable. So, what's your take on the fall of G-Unit? Was the rift too deep to repair, or could it have been avoided with better communication and shared vision? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and join the conversation. And if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop's most legendary moments.